Happy New Year sa lahat ng aming podmates at ligtas na bagong taon sa inyong lahat. We have a special guest to open the year. I was never in her class in UP Diliman, but I feel I've been her student for much of my professional life through her writing, lectures, and of course, her segments as Mareng Winnie on Unang Hirit. Professor Winnie Monsod, welcome to our podcast and a blessed New Year to you.
Happy New Year, Howie. I'm so glad we've passed the past year and now there's new challenges ahead. Parang we're never going to get over something, no?
Ang laki ng tama ng pandemya sa ekonomiya natin. Pero may mga nagsasabi na unavoidable yung malaking impact sa economy. Dahil buong mundo ay apektado. No? So, what could have been done better in terms of the economic effects?
Kaya nga, ang sinasabi ko sa iyo, Howie, buong mundo apektado. Pero depende sa leadership ng buong mundo kung saan ang mas apektado. You know, the countries that were led by females, it did much, but that this is a study. This is an econometric study. Did much better than the male-led countries because the females have a different priority. And they have different risk aversions. And apparently females value lives more than they value numbers or, the economy, etc. They wanted to have the lives, the people healthy so that they could work. And it worked much better than saying lockdown, 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 and then they did not do anything. And women leaders don't tend to become dictators. They let go when it's time to let go. That's one thing that is also an empirical fact. So when I say let women lead, I'm not saying all women are capable of leading. I'm saying let women lead who are capable of leading. And my one caveat there is women who are with dynasties, we're not supporting. I mean, their dynasties have made enough money, of the people of the country. We are going to support women who really feel that they have something to offer and will have no obligations to money, padrones.
Gusto ko magtanong tungkol sa ekonomiya, no? Sinasabi kasi ng gobyerno na gumaganda na yung GDP projections natin. Anong outlook nyo sa economy sa 2022 at paano to mararamdaman ng ordinaryong tao?
Ito lang ang masasabi ko sa iyo, Howie, ha? According to the World Bank and according to NEDA, we will only get our 2019 GDP towards the end of 2022. We will have lost 3 years of GDP. Meanwhile, the country has been growing by 1.6%. The population has been growing. So obviously, when you do it on the GDP per capita basis, GDP per person, we not only have lost 3 years, we have lost 4 years. And if you look at household expenditures, consumption expenditures, our expenditures, we will have lost 5 years. So that's how much. According to Chua of NEDA, we will not get back on track our GDP, our pre-COVID-19 track until 2030. 2030. So I mean that's the government itself talking about. And when I'm saying we have lost 3 years, we have lost 4 years, I'm just comparing the figures with the previous figures. So we're not talking about this is what I think and this is what it is. These are the facts. We've lost 3 years, 19, 20, 21, 22. 3 years. In 2022, we will only get back to 2019. Tignan mo ang what we are fighting against. Yeah. And don't say it's the pandemia. It's the pandemia and the way the government managed it. Because other countries, in 2020, we contracted by 9.6%. Remember? The average for the world was 4%. The average for the ASEAN 5 was something like 3.6%.
So what was the main failure sa palagay ninyo? Why did we do worse economically than other countries?
Well, first was we didn't lock down early enough. And then when we locked down too long. And then when we locked down too long, we did not do our homework even then. We did not do the contract tracing. We did not do the testing. I don't know. They thought that the lockdown was it. No, the lockdown is there to allow the health authorities to be able to test, trace, etc. And we didn't do that. All we were doing was operating it like a martial law thing, mga checkpoints. You don't come in, you don't go out. But even when we were in, we were not being the health procedures were not being done. That is this is something that the School of Economics has been talking about since April of 2020. In terms of its monitoring of the different indicators that should show that we are performing well. Our corruption indicators, all downward. Our governance indicators, all downward. We were trying to go upward, all downward. Terrible. Rule of law, just go. We just sank so much. And those are the problems that the next president has to address. The root of all. I mean, it's all going to lies in governance. You have to have good leaders who listen to the people. You have to have the people participate, and then you'll be able to do what you have promised them that you are going to do. You have to have the rule of law. The rule of law is the basis of governance. Because, the rule of law is there to prevent the people in authority from taking advantage, from abusing.
What do you think of today's generation of young people? Kasi malaking grupo ng first-time voters this election eh.
I hope the students talk to each other. I hope they debate with each other. I hope that, when they debate and give out a fact, that they have a basis for that fact. Para ma-check. Hindi, ang sinasabi ng mga iba basta. When I look at my students and I look at what I was as a student, talagang hangang-hanga ako sa kanila. They are so committed. They are committed to their study. There are a few exceptions. There are always the exceptions. But they are in general committed to their studies. They are committed to civic participation. They have adopted barangays. They go, come up with medical missions or whatever they do. They are always so civic spirited. They're good. That's the kind of leadership I want, who knows exactly what it requires to develop human capital, education, and health, and real education.
Hi, I'm Howie Severino. Check out the Howie Severino Podcast, an original for GMA News and Public Affairs. New episodes will stream every Thursday. Listen for free on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and other platforms.